YouTube, this is my January wrap-up and February TBR. So as I mentioned in my last video, I have had the flu. It was the kind of sick where I couldn't even lie in bed and read, and I was miserable because I just wanted to get ahead on my reading. But I did manage to get 5 books, four and a half books in so far this year. So I started with The Disreputable History of Frankie Lando Banks. I read this for Bout of Books. This was the first book that I read of the year and the first book that I read for Bout of Books. I really liked this book. It had a lot of really great feminist themes running through it. Frankie's just such a great, relatable character. You feel for her so much. I spent so much of this book just being angry on her behalf. I can't recommend it enough. It was so great. It was really great. Next, I of course read Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I loved this book. I already posted a very long review of this book that I did with Joe, who also read this with me at the same time. I love the world that this is set in. It's only 30 years in the future, but just the changes to the internet and the virtual reality vessel that has been invented in this book called The Oasis is just so smartly done. You can tell that this book is written by one of us, because this future is the future that we want, that we don't want, but that we want. It's hard to explain, but this book is great if you love nerd culture, if you love the internet, and also video games, of course, then you should definitely read this book. In the meantime, I've been listening to the audiobook of All the Light You Cannot See. I would hold it up, but it's out in my car, and I'm too lazy to go get it. I got this for Christmas, and I really like it. It's a little bit of a downer of a book to listen to in your car. I haven't done a lot of historical fiction. I haven't done a lot of World War II novels, and I really like it. I really like the characters, especially Marie-Laure. She's just so wonderful. Werner's journey that he goes on is so great, and when they finally meet in the book, it's just beautiful. So this was a good first foray into historical fiction for me, so thumbs up to this one. Then I started The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I haven't made it that far into this one yet. This was actually going to be my 3rd book for Bout of Books, but I had some issues and I didn't get very far into it. I'm about halfway, a little less than halfway right now, so I plan to continue reading this book, but I really like it so far. The imagery is beautiful. I've always been into circuses and carnivals and all of those types of things. I'm very excited to keep reading this one. I took a little break to read Hazed by Mark Sable and Robbie Rodriguez, which is a book it's a graphic novel actually. This book says that it's what Heathers and Mean Girls are to film, so I was expecting really great things from this book, but it was not very good. In fact, it was muddled and confusing and a little bit insulting. I would not necessarily recommend this one. Then I picked up, oh, I don't have the dust jacket on. Hold on, the dust jacket is gorgeous for this one, so we need it. Okay, I started reading A Wrinkle in Time, the graphic novel, which was adapted and illustrated by Hope Larson. I have been so excited to read this, and I just pulled it off my shelf and started reading it the other night, and I'm not very far in, but I already love it. This is obviously a graphic novel adaptation of A Wrinkle in Time, which I think is going to be really cool. As for my TBR for February, I have 4 books that I have stacked up next to my bed that I want to read. I don't know if these will be the ones that I'll read, but they're the ones that I'm excited about right now. So of course the first one is This Shattered World by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I loved These Broken Stars so much, and I don't even know how I haven't read this book yet. I just had other stuff to read this month, and I got sick, and so things were complicated. But this one I really plan to read soon because I'm dying. I'm dying not reading it. Next in the same vein is The Evolution of Mara Dyer. I read The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer last year, and this one's been on my shelf and I want to read it so badly, but it keeps getting pushed aside because of other things, and I just don't want that to happen anymore. So God, you can just tell that I'm still sick because the words coming out of my mouth are weird ones. This one, I'm gonna read it. I just got In Real Life by Cory Doctorow and Jen Wang. A lot of people have been talking about this one. I'm actually not totally certain what's actually the plot of this one, but just the cover I thought was so cool. I love this. Felicia Day is blurbed on the front, and it says a lovely graphic novel for gamer girls of all ages. So that sounds great. And last we have what is actually the restricted section, Book Club's Book of the Month, which we decided because this month's theme was randomly ghosts, because it felt great. Rather than doing like a love story because of Valentine's Day. We just decided to do ghosts, so we decided to read The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson. This book has been out for a while, but a newer book in the series, third one maybe? Can't remember. One of them is coming out very soon, and so we decided to go back and either reread this one if you've already read it, or get yourself started on this series so that you can be ready to read the newer books. And I'm excited because this has been on my shelf since the book guilt video that I posted like 2 years ago. If you want to come read this book with us over on my book club, I'll put a link down to the Goodreads group down below and you can do that. So that's all for this month. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned down in the comments below. Let me know if you have had the flu this year, because it was terrible. It was terrible. I'm gonna go read a book. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.